position. What's the dynamic between being Coach Bentley and Dad Bentley, where Jake is concerned?
It's just great to see him out here. It's just wonderful for our family to be all together, and I'm just proud of everything that he's accomplished.
Have you guys moved all back to the state?
Yes, everybody's here. We're living in Lexington, and it's great to be here.
How do you think Jake has adjusted to his first 3 weeks of camp, kind of coming in cold and competing with these guys?
It's really good, considering he should be in high school, and I kind of pick on him every once in a while to say, Jake, you could be in high school enjoying some time off. He says, Dad, I'm doing the right thing. So he's excited about it, and it's a lot of fun right now.
Robbie, how did you guys come to the decision for him to forego his senior year?
It kind of was brought up in the staff meeting, and it got to him. And then he talked to his guidance counselors at Opelika. And once he talked to his guidance counselors and figured out he had enough units, it really was no looking back. I kind of gave him some scenarios of playing here in South Carolina and gave him some scenarios of staying with Coach Blackman. And he decided he wanted to do it. It was his decision. I'm not sure it's the best decision for everybody. I'm not sure it's the best decision for anyone particular. But in Jake's case, I think he was ready, and I think he loves, the state of South Carolina. I think it fit for him, and it happened.
Bobby, how much of that was a football decision, and how much of that was a life decision? Him not wanting to change high schools, him not wanting to live separate from the rest of the family. How much did all that play into it?
I think, from a percentage-wise, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I think for him it was a lot, because his two brothers play far away. One of his brothers played at Rutgers, one of them plays at Old Dominion, and 7 hours away, 11 hours away from Alabama. I think it mattered that just to be that tight, close-knit family that we are. I think that played a major part in his decision. Obviously, you'd have to ask him. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think that was a big factor in his decision.
Are you kind of glad you're not coaching quarterbacks and being in that situation of having to coach your son at this level?
Oh yeah, I'm loving coaching running backs in this situation. Yes.
But do you keep an eye on him, while you're handling your guys?
It's hard. You just focus on your guy. You don't worry about what he's got to do. And the good thing here is he's got a heck of a quarterbacks coach in Kurt Roper. I don't have to look over his shoulder. Kurt Roper's a heck of a coach. Coach Muschamp's going to guide that whole deal, and I can coach running backs and focus on that and do my job.
As far as your running backs, what has AJ done to sort of continue to assert himself as sort of your number one guy in preseason camp?
He just brings energy to the table. Just like yesterday, he was 56 times over 12 miles an hour. The closest one was like 20. He's just brings so much energy. He plays the way we want our teams to be. Effort, toughness, and discipline. He epitomizes what we want to be right now. And the other guys are he sharpens us. And he's making our room better, and it's made David better, no doubt.
Where is David in this whole mix right now?
Right now, if we had to play today, you'd have, AJ, Rod Talley, and David Williams. And it's probably going to be a committee thing right now with the way we are. Coach Muschamp and I will sit down, and Coach Roper, as far as exact carries and exact number of plays, but right now we're still battling. We're still competing every single day for playing time and for reps. And Bear Polk's in that mix as well. And we'll see where it goes. Hopefully, guys that continue to play to our standard, not their standard. They got to raise their level to where we want.
One of the criticisms of David has been that he seems to tiptoe to the line at times instead of hitting it up in there full speed. Have you been able to coach that out of him to any degree?
Well, as a coach, you're trying to take a player where he can't take himself. I think David's tried to do it himself a certain way. We're going to get David to another level, and that's when we talk about the new David. We talk about a whole turnover, a whole makeover, the new David Williams, and he knows exactly what we're trying to do: make him tougher, make him more physical, and use his physical talents on every single play to the maximum ability.
Coach Muschamp talked about some of the plays in the scrimmage on Saturday where he was running north with those pads squared in front of him and everything. Was that kind of what you're talking about?
Without a doubt, picking his knees up and it being a one-cut runner. This is a north-south league. This is a one-cut league. You don't get to make a lot of cuts in this league because the defenses are so good. So we need one cut. Let's get vertical, get your pads downhill. All great running backs fall forward. So let's get forward.
Bobby, I think there was a time a few weeks ago when first part of practice opened to us and we saw David maybe take like fourth team, being the fourth running back in the rotation. Was that a message being tried to send to him? Was that just a way that was that a representation of where the depth chart was at the time? Was that something we just didn't understand? Or
after the first day of practice, there was a clear message. He was fifth string, he got the message loud and clear, and the last 2 days have been his best practice. He's getting it very clearly. He understands what his role is and what he's got to do. And David's a good guy. He wants to do well. It's just we've got to make him the new David.
How about the other aspects of being a running back as a group? Pass protection, catching the ball out of the backfield. Is this group good at doing that, you think?
Well, we had a lot of catches in the scrimmage Saturday. We're going to throw the football